Hello, everyone, and welcome to Yin Yoga. I'm Debbie Nolan with Henrico Recreation and Parks, and if you've never experienced Yin Yoga before, today is your day for a special treat. Now, before we start, a few things that you'll want to run around and gather before we begin. If you'd like to have a yoga mat, now if you don't have a yoga mat, you can use a beach towel or any other large towel. If you have nice carpeting in your room that you've chosen to be in, you might want a towel just so that your face might not rest on the floor when we do some poses where our face is downward. So then you also, for Yin, might want to have a yoga block. Now, if you don't have a yoga block, you can also use a pillow or even a book of a similar size. So anywhere I'd say from 2 inches to 3 inches thick. Now, when you have those items, you want to spread them out and be in a room where you can shut the door off if it's got a door, but it's a quiet part of your house because Yin is a quiet practice. Now, what does that mean? Yin is more meditative than other forms of yoga, even gentle yoga. So, therefore, we let in the triangle of yoga the breath, the mind, and the body work together. Now, in more yang type of classes, the body leads, the breath is there, but the body almost always takes the lead because we're following directions, we're going. It's very active. In Yin, the mind, the body, and the breath work together, but the body takes the lead. So I actually said that backwards. So body takes the lead in Yin. In Yang classes, the mind takes the lead. So here we're going to relax that mind. We're going to let the body take the lead. And we're going to get more deeply into our bodies, into the connective tissues, and create better blood flow and more flexibility throughout your body. So as we get ready to start, again, we're letting the body take the lead. And it'll let us know when we're ready to go deeper into the poses. So to start today, we're going to begin in caterpillar pose. Now you might want that block or the book. Stretch your legs out in front. And as you do that, just allow your legs to relax totally. Your feet might flop to the sides, and that's all right. Good. Now then, think about your shoulders and have them flow forward in front of your sit bones. Good. Or towards your thighs. Now once you do that, 2 different ways you can do this. You can use 2 blocks and stack them so that you can put your forehead on the edge of the block, flowing forward, and then just allow yourself to place your hands on your shin bones, like so. You can also, if you don't have those blocks, just bring your chin to your chest and allow yourself to anchor all of your body parts. So we don't want to have any limb or any part of your body just hanging out in space. You always want to be supported either by another part of your body or by a block or even by the towel or a pillow. So first, let us start to focus into our practice. So we begin in caterpillar. We're seated on the root chakra, Muladhara. It's governed with the color red, and that red helps create the tone for that chakra. We create community. We create being grounded in our homes and in our families and in our daily life. So here, allow yourself to start to settle in the mind. Close your eyes or shut them halfway and just allow your breath to flow in and out. Now, if you have a cold or any other type of thing like that, you can part your lips and breathe out through the part lips. But try to use your nose as much as possible. So as you inhale and exhale, just notice the flow of the body through your breath. Notice how it subtly reacts and how you start to calm. Muscles start to relax. Each breath gives you permission on the exhale to release. And we take that opportunity to just notice all the busy thoughts in our mind. And all those thoughts are important, but let us just let them float away. Perhaps we collect one of those thoughts as as we inhale. And then as you exhale, just give yourself permission and allow it to float away. Now as you begin to settle, just take stock of yourself. Notice what you feel and where you feel it within your own body. So scan your body with your mind's eye. Maybe you start at your toes and work your way to the crown of the head, and just check in with yourself right now. Look for the places that need special nurturing. Look for the places, maybe old injuries, maybe twinges in the hinges, just areas you want to pay attention to. As we work through our practice and as the muscles start to move, they're going to flow along a continuum from an edge when they start to move and to a point where we can cause harm. So when they start to move, we start to have sensations, and then pain if we cause harm. So here, let us find that place where we have sensation, challenge, but we never cause pain. So listen to your body. So have the mind assist the body in the practice of Yin. Good, so right away you notice we hold the poses a bit longer, and it's quieter. The two halves of our body are totally different from right to left. One strong, contracted muscles, the other side flexible, and more easy to flow muscles. So here we try to find the balance between the two, but sometimes when you go through the sensation or the flow, you'll notice that you won't be in the same place for that side, and that's perfectly all right. Very nice. So let's slowly open our eyes and flow upright. Good. And now let's allow our right leg to flow back. Now as it flows back, slide in your left leg. Now here, depending on your knees, it's how far apart you may have those legs. This pose is called running deer. Good, so we start here. Good, and just place a hand on the outside of your right leg. Good, and the other hand, go ahead and put your block or book or towel over there because you might want to use it in a moment. Good, and first just allow yourself, you're still thinking long through the torso, even though we're allowing the body to soften as we're in it. Now here you may feel a lot of sensation in the right knee. So just adjust where your foot is. You may find you can put the foot up closer to your seat. If you do, go ahead. Good, but here, once you're in the position, start to relax into the pose. So relaxing into the pose, if you feel your sit bone on the right is off the floor, you can always take your towel, stuff it underneath there. That's a technical term. Good. And then just allow yourself to relax into that. Sometimes it helps to just place your hand right where the femur or the large thigh bone joins into the pelvis, and just the weight of your hand will allow that area to gently relax. Good. So either place the hand can be. So first we just settle into the pose. And then as you start to breathe, inhaling and exhaling, you'll find that you can bend in that left elbow. Perhaps you come down to the block first. Good, and just allow the hand to relax there as well. You can use a mudra, a hand gesture that helps you focus. Let's touch our thumb and index finger together. And you can look over your shoulder. Good, and so we pause here for a moment. And just noticing what you feel. Now right away you might be holding very tight in your hips. So perhaps you take a big inhale in, and when you exhale, just allow your hips to start to relax. Sometimes they'll be very resistant. So just work where you are today on the mat. That's where we all begin, and that's where we all finish. But the benefits that we receive from our practice, we take off the mat with us and out into the world. So after we've settled here, perhaps you lift up that right arm and just turn it towards the wall behind you and allow it to relax down your back. Fingertips floating down towards the floor. Good, and just opening the upper part of your shoulder. Good, if you find your neck gets a little grumpy from being here, you can always turn your head and look behind your elbow on the left. Now you can remain on the block, or you may find that your body will allow you to remove the block and go a little deeper into the pose. Big thing to remember here is to always keep yourself lifted in the torso. So wherever you are right now, just find that spot where you can settle and really feel your practice. Because yoga is always, no matter what style of yoga it is about breathing and feeling and being present in your practice so that you're being aware and you're noticing all of these little nuances. And Yin gives us the time to slow down and notice them. Steady breath here, just a natural breath of inhale and an exhale. Good. So as you start to feel yourself just begin to slow down a bit, let's float the top arm up again. Good, and this time bring the hand down in front of your body. So we're going to reverse our body slightly. So press down with that right hand and help lift yourself up so that you can bring your left hand to the mat. Now here we're going to rotate a little bit more. So how does that happen? Just move your knees forward a bit. You can use the foot walk method where you just use your foot to walk your knee forward. And you can slide right leg back a little bit more and bring the foot in closer perhaps. Now what happens is that allows you to be able to fold over top of that left thigh. Once again, you can use your blocks. Good. You can use two, you can use one, and you come down to your elbows. Now, if you feel like your top side of the body is elevated and not parallel to the bottom, meaning the back side, good, just allow yourself to start to settle. Good, so we start perhaps on the blocks. And here just allow your head to relax towards your chin. Good, and this may be the place that you're going to be today. You may also find that having your hands under your shoulders right here is where your practice will be today. And that's perfectly fine because the benefit will be identical. As long as we're moving with intention in every pose, where we're trying, we're focusing, we're breathing, we're noticing the nuances, but most of all, we're honoring our body and allowing it to take the lead. Now you may also find that you can work your way down to your elbows. Good, so once you're on your elbows, you may want to make a fist of one hand and a fist of the other, and then just put your forehead on top. Good, so we've moved from running deer to reclining deer. And here, just let the mind be quiet and breathe. It's amazing when we're in these poses that you start to notice the nuances of what you feel. But you also start to notice the subtleties of sound in your environment. Now, as always, allow the sound that you need to be there and focus on, but allow the other sounds that aren't necessary for your practice to just float away and out of the periphery of your hearing. Use the mind to focus on what you're feeling. Very nice. So after a few moments here, good, and generally in Yin we hold the poses from 1 minute to 3 minutes or 5 minutes even. But you notice I didn't tell you how long we were actually there. Good. And that's because the mind fixates on that type of thing. So as we come out of the pose, go ahead and bring your front hand back out from your body, push down, good, and you're going to curl towards your legs a little bit. So bring the back arm forward, scoot a little bit forward on your mat, legs stay in same position. Good, so we're going to flow back on the mat. And as you flow back, you're going to notice the back leg lifts up. That's okay. Good. So push yourself a little bit further forward in your upper body and allow your shoulders to come to the mat. Now that back leg, lift it up and cross it on top, bringing the sole of your foot to the mat. Now if your foot doesn't touch the mat, you can use your towel, you can use your block or book to place it right underneath your foot. So once again, the principle there is put the foot on the block so it's grounded and it's not hanging in space. So in this case, it would look something like that. Good. So once you're there, once you feel your shoulder blades in place, perhaps you reach down, good, and hold that left foot with your right hand. Good, then your left arm, you can bring your hand to your rib cage and just spread the fingers wide so that you can feel the breath flowing in and out, and so that you can notice the movements of the body at a deeper level. Good. This is called twisted root, R-O-O-T. Now, those of you that are watching may find, oh, well, I've done a yin practice before, and my teacher didn't use that name for that pose. Well, that's because yoga has a lot of different lineages and a lot of different teachers. But it basically has all of the same poses. It's the interpretations of them, meaning how they name the poses within each limb of yoga or each lineage. It may be different from place to place. Same pose might have a different name. It's not uncommon. Good, so as you're breathing here, also again, just notice where you feel the most sensation. And here your heart is really open to the sky. And so your heart area is always underneath your sternum. So as it's open, it's always a good time to take a moment and just send yourself a positive thought. You know, we're our own worst critics. Nobody can criticize us better than ourselves. Let's let go of that and instead find a positive note. Perhaps it's an affirmation. I am strong. I am worthy. I am focused. I'm happy. Just articulate that in your mind and use that as you leave the mat in your practice today. Because we are strong. We are worthy. We are happy. And if we're not right now, we certainly can be. Just feeling the flow of the breath under your hand. Good, and noticing where you feel the most sensation in this pose. Always remember, sensation, not pain. Very nice. So let's release the ankle and just allow that leg to rest on top of the bottom leg. Good, as we pause here, just turn towards the direction the knees are going in. Use your bottom arm for a pillow, or even take one of your blocks and rest your head on it, just like you're in your bed at home. Just curl here for a moment and just pause. Now we shut our eyes often in our practice because we want to shut off visual stimulation. Once the eyes see something, the mind kicks in immediately and wants to go to your grocery list for shopping later or something that happened earlier. We want to stay in the moment, stay in your practice. Very nice. Now let's use the top hand to the mat to help us come back up to a seated position. So maybe we stretch out our top leg and then just press ourselves up. Good, and flow our legs forward again and just shift around a little bit because we've been down for a little while. Good. Now as we do that, just open your legs wider. Don't force them, just bring them as far apart as you can. And then once again, just let the legs relax. Your legs might flow back, they might flow forward, one might be forward, one might be back. Whatever the case, let it just be what your body does. Now this is called dragonfly. And in dragonfly, you want to think about flowing forward. So we just take a nice big inhale, let those legs relax. Let your tailbone right here in the base of your spine feel like it's anchoring you in this pose. So as you inhale and exhale, just walk the hands out first. Good. And just bend your elbows so that you're here. And then again, just allow your head to relax down. So we have all these opportunities to lengthen the muscles in the back of the shoulders and neck where we carry a lot of tension in our body. So as you're breathing now, notice how the breath flows down the rib cage and back, and how you can feel it expand and contract in the back. Good. So once you feel like you're starting to settle, just allow yourself to continue to let those elbows relax. Now you may find that you come to the point where you can put your head on your block, but that's not essential. Good. You could stack a couple blocks if you like. Good. Or you can allow yourself to just let your elbows come down towards the mat. Now you're not forcing down. Here, just allow your body to work in that direction. So perhaps you're up here, and as you exhale and you feel yourself start to relax, you can feel the elbows go closer, closer, closer. Good. You can also stack your fists again and put your forehead on that if you're closer to the mat. But remember, we're not goal-driven, so your head touching the mat is not essential. The benefit of the pose is the same if you move a micrometer in the right direction, whatever the right direction is for you that moment on the mat that day. Good. So this is an interim pose. It just balances us out a little bit before we move to the opposite side. Now you can also slide your hands back and actually prop your elbows against your inner thighs, which also provides grounding for you here. Perhaps you visualize each of your vertebrae from your tailbone all the way up to the base of your head, and one at a time let go of any tightness or restrictions you may feel there. Very nice. So as we flow up out of dragonfly, we come back upright. Good, and guess what? Running deer. So let's slide the leg in. Good, and first you bring the right leg in, and now we're going to turn inward with the left knee. And once again, take care with that knee, shift to the side, turn the leg in. Good, now first thing you want to notice is, do you feel any sharp sensations in that knee? You want your block on the other side if you were using it on the first half, but remember you might not need it on the other side. Good, so you can have your hand here. Good, or you can place your hand again right here where the femur joins in to the pelvis. Good. Now oftentimes just the weight of your hand there starts to help you relax. It's a tactile sensation. It just brings our attention right to that spot. Good, so we start tall in running deer and just allow ourselves to breathe in and out and start to release. Literally sometimes if we feel an area that's tight, you can tighten it up additionally, and then when you exhale, just let it soften and float loose. Very nice. So as you start to feel that area start to release and relax, you may be able to slide that knee away a bit. Good, then you may be able to start to bend your elbow Remember, keep the torso nice and long. So bend your elbow or bring the elbow eventually to the block. And again, you'd use that mudra, thumb, index finger together. Good, and then just roll your shoulder back slightly, starting here. Good. Now, especially right in the hip area, see if you can release and relax there so that the sit bone on the upper side, good, and in this case, your left leg starts to relax down. Let's lift up the top arm, turn it towards the mat behind you or the wall behind you, and let those fingertips float down towards the mat, towards the floor. Good, and feel the shoulders start to open up. Again, look over your shoulder and stay lifted in the body. Good, as you breathe in and out, again, just have a sensation of each breath making you feel lighter. Light like a feather, light like a down feather floating off of a bird, light like a leaf flowing out of a tree. Of course, not in a storming situation, of course. Good, and you may find after a few moments, remembering that if you're on the palm of your hand or if your elbow's on the block, that's a great place to be. But if a little more sensation is in your capability today or where you'd like to be, bring your elbow down to the mat. Good, remember if your neck gets grumpy, just look behind your elbow on the right. Beautiful. So relaxing that bottom hand on the right, let's go ahead and push down and lift up for a moment. Good, slide your other arm around in front. Good, and we're going to go into reclining deer. Good, so have your block around, you might want it. Now remember the first thing, use your feet, walk your knees up towards your left side. Good, slide the right leg back. Now, big inhale, a big exhale, hands on the outside. And in fact, it helps a lot once you're in position so that you can get that rotation to the right. Slide the right leg down towards the left leg. Good. Maybe you need to shift around. Always remember in Yin, if you're not settled in the pose, come out of it, just go back into it. Good. Here you want to think in terms of your shoulders being parallel, meaning one's not way up higher than the other, but that your chest is facing the floor here. Good, perhaps you bring your chin towards your chest. Good, and here you just start soft elbows. And this may be where you are today. So breathing in, breathing out, inhaling and exhaling, and just allowing yourself to settle. The body will tell you when it's ready for you to go to the next level. Good, you can bring the elbows, the arms to the block. Good, you can bring the hands together. You can be here. You can work your way down to the mat. Good, make one hand fist, other hand a fist on top, and forehead on top of that. Here, and just allowing your breath to be free. If you ever feel constricted in your breath in any way, you'll just want to reposition, because we never want to cut the breath off because the breath is leading us in these poses. Once we get to this point, the breath takes over from the body and takes the lead. As you breathe in and out, just allow yourself to notice where you are holding tightly. We usually don't notice the subtleties of movement because we're rushing through life. So Yin gives us the opportunity to slow down and really feel on a personal level how each of these poses affect your body. Very, very, very nice. Now, you, of course, can be here much longer if you like to, but we're going to go ahead and flow out. Very nice. Let's take our left hand to the side and help us lift up. Good. Right hand slides down. Good. Now this time, just draw the knees in a little bit closer to your hands. You're going to shift a bit so that you can flow to your back so that we can go into twisted root. Good. As we do that, flow back. Good. Notice that. Left leg's going to lift up. Cross it on top. Good. And pause right there. Good. And I'm going to shift a little bit to the side so you may see that a little bit better. Good. You may find on one side you can easily hold the ankle, the other side not so easy. No worries. Just be where you are today. Be sure and curl the bottom foot up closer to your bottom, your seat area. Very nice. And then just bring the opposite hand up to your rib cage and just feel the subtleties of the breath as it moves in and out of your rib cage. You may find as you first start in the pose that the body just doesn't want to relax. Oftentimes it could be gluteus maximus in the seat. Just relax that area. It could be in the joint as you work deeper into the structures that hold together the bone and the bones themselves. And just allow yourself to be. And while you're here, being present, perhaps you notice the differences from side to side. Was this my strong side, or was it my flexible side? And we want to notice these nuances so we can work towards balance between the two. Now, once again, our heart is open to the sky, to the heavens. Perhaps we take a moment now to send a positive thought out to the very first person who pops into your mind. Now, you think about that person because they really need that note of encouragement from you. They may never know you sent it, but it's a positive thing, positive energy, encouragement. The longer you hold the poses, you start to notice the nuances of the muscles starting to relax and release. You know, in a typical class, the mind is firing off directions to your whole body all the time. Do this, do that, do it really quick. Oh, I'm behind, I missed it, the instructor did something I missed. And we rush. So we don't really experience until we've done a class many, many times. Here in Yin, you have the opportunity to really experience each pose at a very personal level. Very nice. So as you start to inhale and exhale, just release the ankle if you're holding it. Lay that leg on top of the bottom leg. And then bring your shoulder around so that you're curled up just like you're in your bed at home. Good, and just pause here for a few moments. Very nice. So as we pause right here, take the top leg and just stretch it straight out so the inside edge of your foot touches. The bottom leg can stay bent. Beautiful. Good. Now, Just allow your top shoulder to roll back. You're not trying to go all the way back, and then bring the arm straight out from your shoulder. Good. Here, just allow the hand to slide down to your hip and pause right there. Glance over that shoulder, and that's the back shoulder. Good. Slide the top leg back in. Good. Flow to your back. You might have to reposition on your yoga mat. Good. And I'm just going to change directions just so that it looks normal. And you know, there's just no graceful way to do these things. Good. So again, flow to the opposite side. So you're on your shoulder and the side of your body. Again, outstretch the top leg. Good. Let the bottom leg curl back. And then once again, just flow upper body towards and away from that extended leg. You can have the hand at the shoulder. You can put the back of your hand on your forehead. Very nice. And then floating the arm down. Good. Sliding the legs back. Good. Just come back to the back. So as you flow to your back, good. Just bring your knees in and hug them. Hug them close. And just let the lower back relax into the mat. Good. Let your right leg come to the mat. Reach the inside of your left leg. Hold your ankle. Good. Outstretch your right arm towards the sky. Now, if your arm doesn't want to rest on the mat, no worries. Bend your elbow and slide your arm down until your arm can rest on the mat. Good, and after a moment or so, you'll notice that whole leg will relax. Think of it as floating down towards the mat without your body rolling in that direction. So your torso grounds the whole pose. Now we think of this pose as happy baby pose. This is half of happy baby pose. Very nice. So let the leg come in, flow down. Good, and same thing on the other side. So just clasp your ankle. Perhaps the ankle doesn't work for you. You can put your hand behind the thigh, hold there. Good, and the other arm out towards the sky again. Good, you can also hold your foot if you like. But the big thing here is make sure your body doesn't roll towards the leg that's in the air. After a moment or so, you'll notice that your leg will release and relax down towards the mat. Don't be afraid to hold tight with that hand on that leg. Very, very nice. And then releasing, just let the legs slide all the way out. Good. Now before we finish in Shavasana or resting pose, you'll want to think about how you want to be. You can have the legs out nice and wide, the arms down near your body or out from the shoulders or hands on your rib cage. You might want to put your feet in butterfly. You might even want to put your feet, soles of the feet on the mat, knees together. So pick out which one speaks to you, where you can be here for a moment and just totally release, relax, and soften. Let your breath flow back to normal and just be aware of it. If a busy thought tries to pop into your mind, bring your focus back to your breath. Good. Now as you continue to breathe here, just imagine that you're floating into the mat. If you were to open your eyes and see me moving around, don't change what you're doing. As you breathe in and out, just allow yourself to just be in this moment, in this space, and in this time. Now, still keeping your eyes shut, turn back to your side for a moment and just pause. Good. Help yourself back up to a seated position. Good. And as you do that, you can bring the backs of your hands to your knees, palms up perhaps, to share the positive energy that you've created. Or you can bring your hands together at heart center in the Anjali Mudra, or respect hands, and we'll seal today's practice. As we seal our practice today, the light that shines from within each of us present here today, we come together and we share that uniqueness, that individuality that is part of every one of us, whether we're together in spirit or at home with our families. Thank you for letting me lead your practice today. Don't forget to press the button for joining and subscribing to our YouTube channel. And as you do that, I know you'll rush right to your computer to do that. Let us share our time together. Namaste.